Recording is on.
Hello and welcome to the um, Monday, 23rd of November, DXbiz Dev call. Um, we have quite a bit of people here, and on the agenda we have to start with a new member introduction. Um, I have a typo here, or like something unrelated, but so yeah, new member introduction. XDAI DAO relaunch with an open generic multi-call, and to discuss on the Omen competition. I think that's mostly it. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything else. But yeah, I guess we
Oh
can
yeah,
start. Yeah,
could we talk about Aluna maybe for like 10 minutes?
yeah, for sure. Have a Luna as well.
They're about to launch their IDO, and I think they're also, I think it's a great partnership for us to talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, Luna Social as well.
And one more. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, but maybe we could talk about the API 3 IDO also later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Great. It's Aluna. I guess someone will type that. Do we have anyone? I think Keenan, are you new? Would you like to introduce yourself? I think I saw you in the chat.
Yeah, hey, my name's Keenan. I'm generally involved in the biz dev space, and I don't want to take any valuable time away from you guys, so I'll be observing today, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
All right. Well, welcome to DXDAO, and introductions is never a waste of time if you're going to become a member at least. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So. Yeah, should we start, I guess, with Aluna Social and API 3? Yeah. John, wanna?
Oh, sorry, Aluna. You want to start with? I was just finding this post, which I'm now putting in the chat. So, yeah, Aluna is looking to announce. I think they're planning to announce their IDO on Mesa today or tomorrow. I'm a little turned around on time zones, but yeah. So we had discussed, Ingemar and I had a meeting with the guys at Aluna Social. For a little background, they are a social trading platform. So if you're familiar with something like eToro, it's sort of a similar idea. If you can follow traders and copy what they do, and it integrates with like a half a dozen of the leading exchanges. You can also do like the opposite of copying. Like if you could, follow somebody and like basically take the opposite side of all their trades if you think they're just a bad trader. Yeah, so they're doing an IDO on Mesa. They've proposed kind of like, I think, 2 levels of partnerships we've talked about with them. One is, maybe what you'd call it kind of like a base level marketing partnership where they do the IDO on Mesa and they incentivize some liquidity on Swapper with their ALN token. And DXDAO lists them on Mesa and, helps them kind of just talk about their sale and how we're working together, I guess. And then there's like some ideas around a deeper partnership as well. And kind of like the few things we've talked about there are helping with their governance, using prediction markets in their platform. So they've actually been talking about this for quite some time. This is not just something they're coming up with now, but they like the idea of using prediction games inside of their platform. So that's something where we can explore further with them.
Is that related to Omen?
Well, it could be, right? Yeah, like I don't know if it means directly an integration with Omen or, so this is why this would need to be explored a little bit more because I don't have a clear idea like what that is.
I mean, it could be a huge thing. Like I checked out Aluna Social. It's a great project. It's legit. Having this having a partnership with this kind of project who actually like the user base from Aluna Social is the perfect user base we want to reach, right? It's like the user base we want to reach with Omen and Swapper. So I think like working closely with them to make sure they have the great success, and we do too, is probably in our interest. And also like what they do is like the social trading, but why not social predicting, right? Like they could also be the social interface for predicting, and they are really smart predictors like DCC1, who knows how to predict stuff and even hedge his risk. And like by just observing him or even like copying him on Aluna Social, that is like great, and like will increase the trading volume on Omen.
Yeah, so governance, prediction games, those are two potential areas of collaboration. And the last one they were proposing is like having social trading for DeFi. Again, like I haven't thought too much about this, haven't explored it that much. I don't know, what the technical implications are, or if it's even possible where everything's on chain. But maybe you're worrying about front running and that kind of thing. But these are kind of the deeper possible partnerships where we can explore with them. I don't think that needs to be like hashed out immediately. We can take our time figuring that out, but they were suggesting that we do some kind of a Medium post in the next couple of weeks talking about their project, the sale, and how we might be working together. So I thought that was a good idea, but obviously I wanted to bring that here, kind of get people's feedback, and maybe we can discuss how we might go forward with that.
I like the idea of their project. And for me, it fits in with like hopefully what I think like Omen on XDAI will be, like lots of quick, short-term, fun, rapid markets and stuff like that. And I don't think you can do that on mainnet. So I think they're gonna have to do it on a side or layer 2 solution. But that doesn't change the fact of like their main token and stuff being on mainnet. So it's a good project, but I picture it being like this rapid, awesome, fun, like system that goes really fast and stuff. And that's not going to fit in with like mainnet transactions. That's my main issue. But
do you guys know if Aluna Social has decentralized protocols integration? Like it seems like it's like
it doesn't look like.
Doesn't look like. So it's like centralized exchanges.
Mostly that's what they write at the top of this article. They have like integration of many, I don't know, or APIs or however they do it. But the social aspect, I find pretty interesting too.
Interesting. And primarily centralized exchange. I think that's all they're using right now.
Yeah, like, do you guys think having a call with them to like talk about long-term engagement between those two projects in terms of like how we could leverage each other's technology? I guess their whole database is like on some Amazon server, so like if they don't move into some decentralized hosting thing or like identity solution, then we can't really work with them if they don't care about decentralized protocols, right? If it's just centralized exchanges, then I don't care.
I mean, I don't think this would be problematic to like include anything centralized. I mean, you just put in your address. I mean, you are doxing yourself, right? You're doxing your address. But just kind of like, I don't know, Zerion and Zapper and all of these are kind of telling you what you've done, then, they can input this data there. So, I mean, yeah, this is...
Yeah, I agree. Like one interesting aspect is that we could enhance the Omen experience by actually like allowing people to log into Aluna Social and see like social statistics inside Omen. But I'm always skeptical with centralized providers. Like, Yeah,
we'd have to
doesn't
talk
fit
more
well
about
with
them.
Omen.
My impression is that they are kind of true believers in crypto. They're not like, I mean, I think they've been around for a couple of years, so there really wasn't even DeFi when they first started going, and I think it's a lot more straightforward what they're doing with centralized exchanges. So they've expressed interest in doing social trading for DeFi, and I think it's at least worth having that conversation with them to see how they think about it and what might be possible.
All right, and I mean, I don't think you mentioned, but what does the DXDAO earn from this? Like, is it just tokens, a percent of the tokens?
Yeah. So the thing that, so if we do some kind of deeper partnership where technical people are involved helping to build their product and stuff, I think we'd want to work out something, maybe some tokens or whatever to align and, make sure people are properly incentivized and compensated and whatnot. I think for now, for the listing and, having an article, I think the main thing that DXDAO should be focused on getting is liquidity on Swapper. And I think using this, in this time as well with the release of Swapper, we can use this as a good example for how projects can work with DXDAO and provide liquidity on Swapper as part of that. So basically earning money, but it's indirect, right? It's a little indirect. It's like you incentivize the trading to happen on Swapper, and then the protocol fees are going to DXDAO.
All right. So I guess kind of like the action item here is to schedule a call with them, with the Luna Social, and rehash all these details we just talked about.
Yeah, that sounds good. There's a Telegram group that Hen and myself and Ingemar are in, and we can actually, is that Ingemar on the call here?
Yep.
How many users have they right now? Do we see numbers somewhere?
I don't know that off the top of my head. Do you know, Ingemar?
No, but their interface looks pretty active.
I don't think, I only see one trade 1 hour ago, and the last one ago was 11 hours ago. So, yeah.
All right.
It doesn't matter much anyway. Just, yeah.
All right. Should we continue? Is there anything else you guys want to say about Luna Social? I guess if we're
just a general kind of temperature of the room, how people would feel about this Medium article coming out in a couple of weeks. Say we do a call later this week about potential deeper partnerships, and then turn that into an article, describing their launch, the sale on Mesa, liquidity on Swapper launch, and then these potential partnership type stuff.
Could it for what Geronimo was saying, if it's really everything's truly centralized and all that kind of stuff, could we separate the we're excited this awesome legit project is going to do an IDO, it's going to provide liquidity on Swapper, and do that whole piece and have that we're going to list this token and do all that process, and then separately we could have a discussion around a strategic partnership with an entity around working together. But if they're that's a different decision if they're really not about the same core principles and it's fully centralized, right? So we're happy to do the first one without doing the second one necessarily. Maybe we do both.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's how Ingemar and I had discussed it with them. We're I think this kind of base level marketing thing totally makes sense, but this deeper partnership needs to be explored. So I think it's totally contingent on how that conversation goes.
Cool. But we could post the first one. You could separate the posts, right? So they're two different decision points.
Yeah, so I guess we have two options. We can either just agree to separate them now, and then the partnership stuff can take its own course and take its own time, or we could try to get the partnership like initial meeting scheduled and done, and then decide after that whether to
Right.
include some of that in the initial
I guess
post.
the reason
I think that.
Sorry.
No,
I think-
shoot. Anyway.
All right, cool. So I think the reason why we would talk to them early on about like a deeper engagement would just like provide more context for this Medium post.
All right. So I guess this,
So, just like the last thing for me, like yeah, let's have the call. Like I really want to be part of this, and like personally, I think we should make sure that we provide them the best package, right? Like we need to. That's what we do, combining IDO with all our other services, and then yeah, let's make sure that we have a bigger partnership with them. So who's going to lead this effort with Aluna, like making sure we have a call with them?
Who wants to be on it? Or maybe
No,
we
like
can discuss
who's leading? Like,
yeah, I guess someone needs to be like the owner of the process. Doesn't mean they have to make the decisions, or just to make sure things are happening.
Is that Chris volunteering?
When is the IDO planned for them? When do they do the IDO? Is there a time frame?
It's I think December 9th, so like in 2-3 weeks or something.
I was just volunteering to be on the call. This sounds interesting. I just don't know them. I just don't know them that well.
Not leading it.
Someone needs to figure out the call. Like,
well,
yeah, like
so. I can
I think I'm gonna try to not volunteer for this because I'm finding myself a little overwhelmed with responsibilities.
My problem is I don't have time till the 2nd of September, so next week. This week it's difficult.
Ingemar and John, you guys had a call, but Ingemar, you know them the best, right? But if you want, I can work with you to get the call and everything together and get the information spread out.
Sure. I will. Yeah.
I just want to talk to them.
I'll set up the call.
Me too. Yeah, because I haven't. Let's do at least.
Right. So it looks like Sky, Chris, Geronimo, Pen, me, John. That's like everyone from our Lorray would want to be on it as well.
Now that the status stuff's going to go out this week, which I needed to. Sorry, I'm late. I just on another call. But yeah, I can come in and help you guys lead it. I just need the intros and to know what's going on. So someone who can bring me up to speed with everything.
All right.
Yeah, just hit me up.
Okay. Yeah, I will get a time slot from then or two, and then see if we can all work that in.
Sounds good.
All right.
We can add Sky to that Telegram.
Yeah, all right. So should we move forward? I think the next topic, I guess if we're in the topic of IDOs, is the API 3 IDO. Who's in contact with them? Is it you?
I mean, I'm not the official like DXDAO contact. I just know someone that works there. But I just sense that this IDO is going to be pretty big. And maybe if we could just, I don't know, talk to the API 3 people and I don't like the fact that they did a partnership with PrimeDAO, but still doing the IDO with us. And we have like almost zero contact with them.
I know Dave pretty well. I've been talking to him through this whole process with Prime. So I think there's a lot of people that are feeling the same way. So with Prime. So yeah, if you guys want me to talk to him, I can definitely get him on a call.
That would be good. I mean, it starts next week on Monday. And even though it's really close to the date, maybe we could figure out something, any kind of sponsorship or partnership or whatever it could be. Either way, we should talk to them more.
Do they use their own front end?
No, not what I know. At least they haven't gone out with that information, but they already said Misa and everything like that. And yeah, I don't know.
I see. So at some point they need to make a proposal, right?
Yeah,
to get the token listed.
I don't know how much they prepared.
I hope they know about it. I don't remember I've ever talked to them. So, and like the posts seem pretty, like they know about most of the stuff that they need to know. But I don't know. Obviously, it's better to talk to them if you can connect us.
And maybe that's the thing you can reach out and ask them about. Be like, do you plan to submit a proposal if you want to be listed on the front end?
Yeah.
And it takes,
definitely.
we can do it within 3 days. So it's still doable.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm curious. I'm curious that they don't think there's an opportunity to actually do something besides blog posting. Scalar markets are almost done, and I mean there are tons of Oracle providers who would do everything they can to be integrated, but I think do we need to be proactive here? It seems
think so.
They don't care.
I think we should, to be honest.
I sort of feel like we maybe dropped the ball a little bit because they did. Remember, Dave did talk on a BizDev call, and Geronimo, you should know because the idea was to integrate them with Omen, right? And did we ever have a meeting with them about that, or?
No, I guess they were definitely busy with their whole fundraising stuff, but I am personally fine to reach out to them and ask what's going on, and if we. I could set up a call with them to discuss how we can absorb.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think a lot of this stuff intersects with Omen, right? Like API 3 is an Oracle provider; they could be used as an Oracle, and Omen. Luna is interested in prediction games. Somebody we haven't talked about today is PlotX. They are doing prediction market related stuff, and I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I feel like Omen. Even if it doesn't generate revenue in the near term, it's still best in class product, and it's going to be very useful for us strategically in terms of connecting with other projects. And we almost need somebody who kind of takes that responsibility of those types of partnerships. I don't know, Sky, maybe you're in a good position. Obviously somebody from the technical side, Geronimo, needs to be involved from Omen, but I think we gotta get organized on that because all of these projects, I think there's going to be more that want something to do with Omen and can be that desire, that relationship can be leveraged for DXDAO.
Yeah, totally. Mesa is the first gate, and Omen is the product which kind of, depending on which project or partnership, but that's our leverage point, right? Especially for API 3. Seeing them as even the first Oracle provider for scalar markets totally makes sense for them and for us, because if they can integrate pretty quickly with Omen and scalar markets, then it's a great product. So yes, Sky, we should probably lead this, talking to integration, talking about integrating stuff into Omen.
Yeah.
With API 3.
Keep in mind though, Omen is a working good product. API 3 feeds don't exist, right? Okay, it's a good idea, but the thing has to be proven and working before you integrate it into something like Omen, right?
I mean, it depends what they are offering us, right? If they provide liquidity on Swapper, then we can figure out a alpha version of scalar markets with their Oracle provider. It's up to them what they can offer us.
But I'm talking about in terms of the technology, the product working, right? Trust me.
I mean, of course we will not integrate something which doesn't work, But I think we could also like launch scalar markets with like a beta link, and then do some testing markets internally and see how it works.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys maybe, I mean, I think you're right, Sky, like maybe they're not working today, but these guys know what they're doing. They were running the Honeycomb marketplace with Chainlink, which I think was one of the bigger ones. They've raised almost $4 million from VCs. They're a very legit project. And I mean, you know, I also feel that Chainlink does not necessarily have the best setup, and some of their ideas about how to compete with Chainlink, I think, are good. So even if it doesn't roll out now, like Geronimo said, if they are, you know, doing their IDO on our platform, they're providing liquidity on Swapper, you know, it makes sense, I think, in my mind, to plan what that partnership could look like.
They are not. I haven't heard anything about Swapper, just so that's clear.
Right, they don't have any plans, but like that's the type of thing that we should be interested in.
Okay. That's the exact example that I'm talking about. They're not talking about liquidity on Swapper because Swapper doesn't exist. Like, these are all great ideas, but you can't make plans on certain things. We can plan for the future, but you can't make anything concrete when things don't exist yet, right?
You know, they have a partnership with PrimeDAO. PrimeDAO didn't even exist. Like, it's kind of still in the fundraising mode, but they gave 2% of their tokens to PrimeDAO. Like, we could still do partnerships without.
Yeah, Sky, have you been in crypto for the last 3 years? Things can't be done without. Which space are you operating in?
Wait, that's the main progress.
I personally don't like fluff. You want fluff partnerships? Like, we want real partnerships.
Yeah, no,
sure.
But they're both. But I'm saying they're legit. It's it's not there yet. Swapper's not there yet, but I think I have faith in both of those efforts. So I don't know.
Either way, we should, in my opinion, like, I'm not saying let's do a partnership with the API. I think we just need to talk to them, like, separately for just that thing.
Yeah. Also, like Sky, if they signal that they want to integrate their technology into Omen, and with the deal that they actually doing something for us, I mean, that's great, right? Swapper will be released pretty soon. They will do their part, and then we will make sure they are getting integrated into Omen. And like, Omen is in general generic, which means they will not be the only Oracle provider. So
Chainlink. Chainlink also wants to be integrated, so we could go with them first.
Fuck Chainlink. Chainlink, no way.
But you guys, you guys know how API3 works? It's not like they're not basically like an Oracle provider, but they're kind of like an adapter provider, and so they're relying on someone to actually publish the data. They are just relaying it to on-chain.
So it's not decentralized.
Well, it is kind of like a decentralized Oracle, right? But their thesis is that it's better to like rely on the original data feeds than to have like like a Coro, like a group of like random people submit the data.
Wait, so why not just aggregate centralized exchanges prices and then push it like everyone else does it? Like, why do they need third parties who are pushing stuff to their database and then they're pushing it on chain?
Well, it's more like, like, what do you trust more? Like Coinbase pushing, their price themselves on chain, or, Chainlink aggregating the price from, I don't know, like 10 different exchanges.
I see. So they aggregate off chain from like thousands of sources, which may be more resilient.
No, they are just really aggregating from the original source, right? So
they are incentivizing the original data provider, right? Like whether it's Coinbase or Kraken or whatever. Chainlink doesn't incentivize the data provider. They incentivize a set of reporters, right? So, I mean, in some sense, you could say that Chainlink is unnecessary middleware.
Yes.
Despite being a top 10 cryptocurrency. So, I mean, am I getting that right, Christopher? Like API3 is sort of like cut out the unnecessary piece that Chainlink is, and we'll just go straight to the source because that's actually what's important.
I mean, you could say that way, right? Another way of saying it is also API3 is basically just a library that, enables Coinbase to publish their prices directly on chain.
Yeah. Okay, so I think kind of like the bottom line here is that we should schedule a call with Dave again. I guess anyone who wants from this group. I think Claire, like you're already in contact with them. Maybe like ideally sometime this week to talk to them and figure out all the different collaborations that we can do and what we can, and how we can collaborate with them before the IDO and what we can give them, what they can give us, etc.
I agree. Yeah, I play poker with Dave, so yeah, I can hit him up whenever. If anyone wants to join the call, I'll just ping them right after this call and get it set up right away.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like maybe we should have like a whole like API 3 Keybase channel.
Okay.
I don't know if people.
Yeah, 100%.
I do think we
that's
can.
a great idea.
Yeah, just to get meta about this, like I think with all of these things, it's all about what is like the core like place of communication, right? So if there's a Telegram group that's like has people in, or maybe it's a Keybase that like people are coming in to ours and doing that, but just like or it's a call, right? That's consistent. Maybe we can start having monthly calls with certain kind of groups and partners that everyone is familiar with, but like trying to establish like the base communication forum or channel.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of have the action items from this. Moving on to the next topic. Anyone else wants to add something before?
Yeah, maybe just something like in the broader partnership talks. Like I think, like everyone here have said before, but we are lucky to have Misa, and we have people coming to us. We should absorb. Like even though, like I'm not saying let's talk with everyone, but let's like see what the opportunities are, and even though it's small opportunities, we should just like be better at talking to other potentially partners. I would love to help there, but I'm not sure I'm the right person. And yeah, I mean, Keenan is one person that I brought to this call because I think maybe he could also maybe help on that part.
Yeah, so I was about to say as well that we probably need an owner for these leads. And I don't know, Keenan, from what I saw, then you might be fit. So I don't know if you want to explore someone joining DXDAO and owning that.
I would be more than willing to discuss further about it.
Awesome.
I wonder what kind of structure do you think we should have around like this potential partnership? Because like I think I talked even like in a call or in a chat with almost all IDOs that we had. And yeah, obviously partnership is kind of on my mind if I think of something that is useful or obvious. And yeah, I couldn't really think about something, but maybe we can think about some framework to think about it.
I mean, what we are building, the products we're doing, we kind of are building an ecosystem here. We should package it somehow to be able to offer something for partners and see what they can offer back and see if this is something that both win on. We are still in the early stage here, but I think we will form whatever partnership looks like while we work. This is like kind of how we are doing right now. But these packages, like we already seeing them formed, like Misa to Swapper, and maybe like if they have a technology, we can use it on our services. If they need help on like governance, we can help them with that. We will probably have like packages formed to be able to offer them like this is what we can do for you.
Yeah, I agree. There's actually now more products that we can offer, which is really cool. I think first IDOs were launched before we even had Omen, so I'm not sure, but I think so. Yeah, so it's really evolving and it's cool. Regarding the governance as a service, it's kind of I guess we're still figuring it out. It doesn't really exist, although it was thought about a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, I generally agree.
I mean, I would say there is no governance as a service right now because most of the teams are launching shitcoin governance tokens to make money, right? So I think the time will come where projects actually realize how to actually create governance systems which work and last for at least a few years.
Yeah. So, thanks, Geronimo. Yeah. So this is something that I guess kind of needs answering. The whole owning this. I guess it's sort of like a biz dev process. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I think Sky actually has these types of responsibilities in his worker proposal and has done a bunch. So I would, curious what Sky thinks in terms of driving this forward. But yeah, I mean, would love to see Keenan getting more involved, exploring stuff, and Lorraine as well. But yeah, Sky has some of the context here and the kind of the already existing worker proposal around this.
Yeah. So far, I think that these things all have come in like different routes and stuff. And like I said, like we're talking about their products and our products that are still in development. But once we have a suite of working products, it becomes much easier to package things together. So we at some point we need to experiment with doing one of these, but it's easier. Like we've talked about it as a group, people waiting for Swapper and things to include that in a partnership, but we don't have it yet. So we haven't had a real example of this, but we can make one of these a real example with either API 3 or a Luna. But we also have how to organize and keep track of these is part of there is a Airtable, which is like a list of all of these live partnerships and things. But as we know, these things are spread out all over the place. So they need to be better organized and then assign responsibilities for different people. And Lorraine has started helping, but as Keenan and other people get involved too, we can delegate like individual entities to people to look after.
Yes, like to not define a new way of doing things, but would it make sense to for serious partnerships to create a channel and hopefully the other side of the partnership will join those channels too, and then in the description of the channel we will add the responsible person and maybe a link to the Airtable with more information or something. But this would mean we all have everything in place on Keybase and can directly reach out to people if necessary.
Yeah, like I guess we've done that. Like we have a radical channel, and that's what that is for. Getting the other side to use it, which has been tricky in the past, but we can have a different channel for each of those for sure.
Yeah, I will make sure we will have an API. The API 3 team actually has a Keybase chat. Like they have their own team, so they are the perfect team to make sure they. Yeah, I will make sure we have a API 3 channel. I will invite those teams, and then we can discuss. And who will deal with Aluna?
Sky, are you kind of comfortable able to lead this up at this point? I mean, I know you have some other like testing and product responsibilities as well. So
I thought we already discussed the Luna earlier. Ingemar's actually already set the Telegram. So I think once they set up a call with Sky, Lorraine, and myself, I think we should be good to go on a Luna. And so
do you want to stay on Telegram?
I think it's also
I think we should. Yeah, it's up to the individual. Like I think I was saying this before, you need a communication channel for each of these relationships, and we should be clear on what that communication channel is, whether it's Keybase or Telegram or a call. I think it's important that we have a more public calendar for scheduling calls with other groups. I just think we've kind of talked about this a lot on this call.
And I'm saying I think we need a single point of contact who's responsible for kind of this partnership effort in general. And I want to know, I think Sky is the only one with the worker proposal.
Yeah. I'll take responsibility for that. But it is, as a decentralized organization, it is not, one person can like set up the framework for this, but clearly these things are coming in from all different angles. That's why we have all these different touch points. So we can better have it organized in one place, but it's going to take a team of people because they come in from all over the place, you know?
Absolutely. We need to make these processes like scalable and decentralized, but I think to get off the ground here, like we need to be organized, right? And can't just expect this to ad hoc kind of form itself together. Somebody needs to take the responsibility of coordinating partnership overall. Yeah.
All right, I'll do that, and I'll outline and I'll lay out the framework for how I would think it would work, and then we can discuss if people agree with that.
Awesome, that's great.
Nice. Yeah, can we move on? Does anyone want to say anything else? I think this is kind of like a strategic decision, or few decisions that need to be made regarding this whole sort of biz dev process. So yeah. Is there some static from someone? Oh yeah, okay, that's done. Yeah, so on to the next topic. I'll just say that the XDAI DAO has been redeployed with kind of like all the missing things and an open multi-generic call, which means that this DAO can basically call any contract on XDAI and basically do stuff with it. I think this would be great for testing, possibly Swapper and Omen. And yeah, I mean, that's just an update. Just share the link.
Alan, can you explain do you know how the TCR for Mesa on XDAI is working right now with the new deployment? Because I was thinking about listing some tokens there.
So
yeah, I'm getting questions from Ansho too, which I'm not quite sure how to answer right now.
So I think that, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know much about the TCR. I remember like it was tried to add it onto the old DAO, but this is like a new DAO. So do we need to add the TCR contract again, or is there some sort of like an...
Nico, I believe you have been the person who deployed stuff on XDAI. Do you know more about the TCR on XDAI?
Yeah, so I actually deployed the TCR on XDAI.
And you're the owner, or is the DAO the owner?
Currently, I am the owner because the latest XDAI deployment was still in progress, and we weren't aware, we weren't sure if everything is working as accepted. That's why I took the ownership, but I'm able to transfer it to the DAO at any time.
Okay, that's great, because yeah, that would have been a problem. So yeah, that's so I guess once the ownership is on the XDAI DAO, or you want to do some testing right now, Nico, when you're the owner, and then basically we'll be able to use the DAO to add things with to call the TCR and add things. Yeah, you can check out the multi-generic call here. It's pretty straightforward, but I guess if you're not a developer, then you might get confused by all the parameters there.
Yes, so I would propose that until we don't have a clear flow about how to use the multi-call with the token registry, I think for now Nico can keep the ownership just for this is a coordinated move, because the Omen team also needs a registry pretty soon. I mean, for XDAI, it's pretty simple. We will just launch with DAI. I don't even know if we need a token registry for Omen, because DAI is the base currency of the chain. So yeah, I think the only thing, yeah, I think we need the wrapped DAI stuff, right? You need to actually wrap DAI.
Yeah, I think we definitely need the
on Omen.
token registry, whether it's for Omen or Mesa or
Yeah,
Swapper.
exactly.
Like all of those are gonna potentially need it on XDAI, and Mesa I think needs it like yesterday. So I would. So you're saying multi-call TCR? Why not go with the registry one we already are familiar with, until we're like more comfortable with the multi-call?
Oh,
Theoretically, can't we have on-chain TCRs for XDAI and just have the same process as we have today, but with, I don't know, XDAI Mesa on-chain, like on Ethereum, but that we list the tokens
that's
for
kind
XDAI?
of what I'm suggesting, is we should be replicating the mainnet process on XDAI for now.
Yeah, so that's possible. So yeah, just in essentially the plugin manager to add the TCR, calling the specific calling Mesa, calling Omen, just like it is on mainnet.
I was thinking even not like to not have any TCR on XDAI. Let the real DAO manage all listings for all products, like on XDAI and on mainnet.
So the mainnet DAO will govern the XDAI products as well.
Yeah, why not?
Because why?
They are different.
I mean,
they are
it's
different
just-
lists. So I could see some confusion arising because now you have Mesa XDAI all on the mainnet. But I guess it's possible.
Yeah, it's more difficult, and just because as soon as someone is connecting to XDAI on Omen, we will basically use the XDAI chain for everything. So we would need to make changes on the product to like get the data from the main chain, which is not necessary. Like, yeah, I see the DX based on XDAI as an important DAO, and it should govern XDAI stuff.
Yeah, so I think yeah, so maybe let's just replicate the schemes that are currently existing on the mainnet to XDAI.
But Elon, is it so difficult to use the multi-call stuff just to add a token?
I don't know, to be honest. Like,
I mean, the gist is we haven't done it yet, right? So I think let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like,
but I mean, I believe we can figure it out pretty quickly, and as soon as we know it, we can just continue using the multi-call.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go?
No, I think we can do it. I hope we can do it quickly, but I think the process should be, test on multi-call. Then when it's ready, you add the multi-call. Then we switch over to the multi-call as the preferred interface for maintaining these lists. So,
So
right now you could use the multi-call to call the TCR, right? But because it doesn't have any permissions, it won't work. But you can kind of like go through the process.
You mean it doesn't have permissions because Nico is still the owner?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's totally right. Like, I mean, Elon, is it possible that you figure out? I mean, I can also figure it out to see how that works. But if we can actually figure it out, we should start using it.
Yeah. I mean,
I believe there will not be a lot of proposals because no one is using XDAI tokens right now. So we shouldn't like spend a lot of time on it right now. For for Swapper for sure. But
yeah, I mean,
Elon,
I think we should.
Security?
Yeah, I'm just saying I agree with you, Geronimo. We should start using multi-call, but since it's not ready yet, I think we should just replicate mainnet because people are asking about Mesa like today.
But it is ready. Like
it's not it's ready.
I mean, that's what we said about
to use the interface.
I feel better about things being ready when they've been tested. And I think XDAI deployment is a good example of this, right?
I mean, okay, there are two things to be done for testing. Nico is transferring ownership to the XDAI DAO. Elon and me will check out and add a new token. Is that enough testing?
How long is that going to take you? Because the Mesa deployment is like, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I think 5 days, I think. Yeah.
Wait, 5 days? For what?
Yeah. Yeah, my point is this is going to take some time, and then if you find something, it's going to take longer. So let's do it in parallel.
Wait, but the generic, right? But the generic scheme takes way longer.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Guys, one recommendation here, like to have like we can actually do it in parallel, right? So we can do it the way we do it on mainnet. So we can take the scheme, we can deploy it on XDAI, and we are sure it's working. And on the same time, we can actually work on the generic multi-call integration. So actually, both of these schemes can interact with it. And if we figure out that the multi-call will take some additional time, we don't lose any time because like the regular scheme will work as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I don't really mind. Like, it sounds like a plan. Like, why not install just the same two connections and then get rid of the generic scheme once we are used to multi-call.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's right.
Yeah. Also, we can test this on Rinkeby. I have like a DAO. There's a DAO on Rinkeby with the multi-call and super low parameters. If there's a TCR on Rinkeby, we can just test that it works.
Nico, do you know if we set up the Mesa list on XDAI so we don't fuck it up with Mesa?
Yep, we already deployed the list. So actually all of the lists on XDAI are the same as on mainnet, and we also added some specific XDAI tokens on the Mesa list that has already been reviewed by Sean. So the only thing missing here would be to transfer the ownership to the DAO. But if anyone wants to check again, feel free, for sure.
I have a message literally 2 minutes ago from Ancho. This is very relevant to this. So he says, I would like to let you know that CMM, and I think he means, Hen, do you know what he's talking about? CMM is doing a launch. Yeah.
Yeah. CMM is the custom market maker. It's just, it's a kind of an app on top of, I guess, Mesa or Gnosis protocol to deploy like liquidity. So they are now working soft launching a version for XDAI, and it will be implemented as a safe app initially.
Yeah, so he's saying that they're going to do a launch of the bracket strategy on XDAI, and we'll be advertising that. And one of the important tokens that has liquidity will be WBTC. And yeah, Nico, we should maybe help him understand how to make sure that's added.
Okay, so there might be some additional changes. Yeah, for sure. As long as we have the ownership, we're pretty fast able to add some tokens here.
Cool.
Yeah, let's postpone that to the DXer chat.
Yeah, we take this dev stuff offline.
All right.
I have one last question regarding the hackathon proposal. It seems like we have both proposals written up. However, we need it posted under a GitHub repository, and they will be kind of like taking the name for the project and the logo. So ideally, we post it under like a DXDAO GitHub. Do we have anything like that? And would anybody have access to that?
There is no DXDAO GitHub. There's a Protofire GitHub where Omen is living right now, and Misa is living on Diog. And yes, that's so. So why do we need a central repository for all those grants, bounties, whatever?
Yeah, that's how Gitcoin works internally. They just import it from over there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it should be acceptable to use those repositories. We can maybe try to, I think, yeah, I know that's not like separate, but I don't think we're going to like set up a DXDAO GitHub for this hackathon.
I mean,
or should we?
I kind of feel like this is some, I don't want to say like a secure, like it's like kind of like a legal risk for whoever owns that GitHub.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, so like I have level K and we have a bunch of DXDAO related repositories there, but I don't want level K's GitHub to be viewed as DXDAO's like owned and operated GitHub. I want it to be viewed as level K is hired by DXDAO, right? It's a contractor for DXDAO.
I mean, whoever has Omen stuff is gonna get problem in the future. 100% sure.
Yeah, like the solution is hopefully pretty nearby.